Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
It's additive free, nothing artificial. It's Brainforce Plus. Read thousands of 5-star independent reviews right now and get your Brainforce Plus at InfowarsLife.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It's Tuesday, June 27th, 2017. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer. Here's what's on the news tonight.
Tonight, the fake news network strikes again. Project Veritas releases a new bombshell video exposing CNN as Russian conspiracy peddlers.
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you stay categorical?
Meanwhile, 3 of CNN's journalists are forced to retract, apologize, and resign for lying about Trump's collusion with the Russians. Then, look who's under federal investigation. Bernie Sanders and his wife face serious charges over a possible fraudulent real estate deal.
This implication came from Donald Trump's Vermont campaign.
That's coming up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. The key is to be aware of this attack and to fight back against it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs harvested around the planet and then concentrated for maximum potency. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by Infowars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. Visit InfowarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from Infowars Life.
Check out these amazing deals at InfowarsStore.com. 25% off BioTrue Selenium, a powerful antioxidant and back-in-stock Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste. Now 33% off. And while you're there, check out the Total Oral Care Pack, which combines our organic mouthwash with the amazing Super Blue toothpaste. Now 37% off. All available right now at InfowarsStore.com.
Well, you've heard of Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal. But have you heard of the latest installment from President Donald Trump, The Art of the President of the United States? That is what we are breaking down here for you tonight. Now, I have to tell you, when I was looking at this and you look at all the angles and you look at some of the tactics that Trump has taken, some of the things he's tweeted, some of the things he's said, the timing of it all, and then you break it all down from a broader perspective, it really is something to behold, folks. Donald Trump truly does play 6D chess. Let's get into the art of the President of the United States. Let's start with the rigged election. Now, if you recall, when Donald Trump was campaigning to be the President of the United States, he kept saying the election is going to be rigged. You get a rigged election. I'm worried it's going to be rigged, elections, rigged. He kept saying that at his rallies, getting that rhetoric into the mainstream. So then that rhetoric goes into the mainstream, and you have the Democrats that are actually trying to rig elections. This is a historic thing, specifically with dead voters, illegal voters, and we'll get to that in a second. But it took another interesting twist, and this is where the 6D chess comes into play. You see, when Donald Trump kept saying he was afraid that the election was going to be rigged when he was campaigning, what he did was he pigeonholed Barack Obama and the Russian narrative that they wanted to either bury or use against President Trump. So he had them in a corner. So after Donald Trump says the elections were rigged, I'm worried they're going to be rigged, now all of a sudden Barack Obama is in a hot seat. And the Washington Post prints this story, Obama's secret struggle to punish Russia for Putin's election assault. So this is what happens. Washington Post puts out this 30-page, basically nothing burger of a fake news story, trying to imply that President Obama was pressured into putting away this Russian election because he didn't want it to hurt Hillary Clinton. You can keep that graphic rolling, folks. This graphic right here, this is exactly what happened to Barack Obama with this Washington Post story. So they try to say, well, he didn't want to, you know, get involved with the election by coming out and making some announcement about Russian hacking. But really, he didn't want to vindicate Donald Trump saying the elections were rigged. So now Donald Trump, by saying the elections were rigged in his campaigns, beats Barack Obama into burying any Russian narrative or Russian hacking narrative, or as the Washington Post says, he didn't want to get involved with the election at that point. So Obama does nothing. Obama does nothing. And now, on the other side of this, now the left is mad at Obama, the Democrats are mad at Obama, but the overarching question is, if they grilled Comey, if they grilled Sessions, if they grilled Jay Johnson, if they grilled Mike Rogers, they grilled all these people about the Russian collusion narrative, grilled all these people about what's been going on with Russia, thinking about looking at Donald Trump for obstruction of justice, well, now don't they have to do the same for Barack Obama? What reason would you have then to say that Barack Obama didn't obstruct justice in this Russian collusion, Russian hacking narrative? If the Russian hacking is as big of a deal and the Democrats are as worried or want to get down to the truth of the Russian hacking as they have pretended to when it was involving Donald Trump, why wouldn't they have that same urgency to go after Barack Obama? Why wouldn't Barack Obama be put on the stand? So there you go. Now, again, President Trump tweets out, bombshell in 2016, Obama dismissed idea that anyone could rig an American election. Again, so Trump has beat Obama at both angles. First, he beats him on the rigged election, saying it's rigged, saying it's rigged, saying it's rigged. Obama can't come out and say the Russian hacking thing because that would validate President Trump. Then President Obama and the rest of the left establishment says Russia meddling, Russia influencing, Russia hacking. And so then Donald Trump comes out shiny on the other side and says, wait a second, you're the one that said the election couldn't be rigged. So there's his 6D chess destroying Barack Obama, and now, in my opinion, puts Barack Obama in the hot seat, literally to be testified about why he would obstruct justice and not bring up the Russian hacking narrative back then. And so then the Washington Post prints that story and literally craps all over Barack Obama. But then Trump gets proven right in spades again. Study supports 5.7 million non-citizens may have cast illegal votes. Boom, Trump was right anyway. The elections were rigged. Democrats have been doing it for years. Here's another one. Students sentenced to prison for registering dead people to vote. Now, these are just two stories. Democrats rigging elections, specifically with the group Acorn, has been going on for a long time. So that's how Donald Trump plays 6D chess with the rigged elections comment, and then coming out on the other side golden with Barack Obama totally pigeonholed. Now, let's move on to the next. Let's talk about the tapes tweet. Donald Trump comes out and tweets, James Comey better hope that there are no tapes of our conversations before he starts leaking to the press. Wow. And so then what happens? Comey leaks to the press and then admits it. So Trump tweets that out, pressures Comey, gets him sweating, gets him thinking, makes him testify the truth under oath, and says, I was the linker. And then, not only does that force Comey to admit he was the leaker, then Comey also gets caught in his own tracks twice and may have even committed perjury. New York Times debunked. Trump didn't directly order Flynn to Trump didn't directly order end of Flynn investigation. And then it goes on to show how Comey changed his stance in his 2 testimonies. But also you have to consider the tweet where Trump says, I hope he thinks about tapes before he starts leaking. And then Comey says he leaked because of that tweet. So now a tweet has pigeonholed Comey. It's unbelievable. This is 60 chess genius. And so then Trump comes out again completely victorious, and says, well, I already beat Comey. I don't know if there's tapes. Maybe there are tapes. The cell phones are recording everything. We're in the White House. Everybody's spying on me. So there might be tapes, but I don't have any tapes. So Trump looking glorious again. And then you have Keith Olbermann, who is just a little bit lower than the crap that was in the wheelbarrow that fell on Obama there, saying, you are the leaker, Trump. You stupid, pea-brained MF traitor. Resign. If you could be more than 100% wrong, you would be Keith Olbermann. But you can't be, so Keith Olbermann, sorry, 100% wrong as normal. But it goes on. Then what Comey said in his testimony about Lynch has now pigeonholed Lynch. So the tapes tweet pigeonholes Comey and now has Lynch possibly going to jail. Now Judge Politano says former Attorney General Loretta Lynch could face 5 to 10 years in prison for her handling of the Clinton email investigation and the communication between Debbie Wasserman Schultz and everything she did on the tarmac. That's Loretta Lynch. How about that? How about that? And then this is just a beautiful tweet that describes the whole thing. What started as an investigation into Trump-Russia collusion has now turned into an investigation into Loretta Lynch. If you guys can just view that media, just click that button right there to show the people the image that we're talking about here. No, it's all good. There it is. That's right. So again, what started as an investigation into Trump-Russia collusion now looks like people are looking at Comey and Loretta Lynch and their handling of justice. Master 60 chess from Donald Trump. Now let's move on to the 9th Circuit Court. So he tweets out, this is after the 9th Circuit Court. There's other circuit courts, Democrat appointees that are blocking the travel ban, blocking the sanctuary cities. So Trump says, fine, you're going to block that? I'll see you in Supreme Court. Well, and also he tweets out that the 9th Circuit Court has a terrible record, close to 80% of being overruled. I actually think it might be higher than that when I last looked. So the 9th Circuit Court is a complete joke. And then what happens? Trump gets Trump gets verified in spades. 9-0 decision from the Supreme Court. So how do you like that? He told them, he said, fine, you want to block my travel ban? I'll see you in the Supreme Court. Took him to Supreme Court, won 9-0. So how do you like that, folks? And then, of course, you have Elizabeth Warren, who tweets this out. In a matchup between Donald Trump, Muslim ban, and the Constitution, my money's on the Constitution every time. The 9th Circuit agrees. Again, if you could be more than 100% wrong, you would be Elizabeth Warren, but you can't be, so Elizabeth Warren is 100% wrong. Now, here's some screenshots. I went on Google and I screenshotted Supreme Court travel ban, Trump travel ban, just to see what the results would look like on Google. And folks, the Google censorship has really reached unprecedented proportions. They will not even put a conservative news outlet on their front page. And then all of the headlines that you see in the front fold of Google, all of the headlines are spin. All of the headlines are spun against Trump. None of them saying how Trump was constitutional when they said he was unconstitutional. They all have a spin saying, well, they allow limited versions. It's kind of a victory for Trump. Well, it might be a victory. Some things get to pass. And this is everything I searched. Trump Supreme Court travel ban, Trump travel ban. It was the same thing every time. Washington Post, CNN, New York Times, The Atlantic. No matter what, it was always left. It was always spin, never giving Trump the victory that he won in the Supreme Court. So I just wanted to point that out as just another angle of this story. Now, here's an unbelievable one. 5 years ago, Trump made a prediction on Twitter about housing, and he ended up being 100% right. So you got Keith Olbermann, Elizabeth Warren 100% wrong, then Donald Trump 100% right. He tweets this June 20th, 2012. Now is the time to buy housing before values have fully recovered in 5 years. Remember, I told you so. 5 years later, he's the president. And look at this graphic, folks. You know, there's rumors online Trump is a time traveler. Look at this graphic and tell me that Donald Trump wasn't 100% right. When he tweeted that day, the housing prices reached a low. Now, here we are 5 years later, just like he said, and the housing market has now reached a high. How do you like that? In every index, too, folks, you can go down and there's other graphics that illustrate that, too. So that, to me, was just amazing. Now, here's a video of Donald Trump calling CNN fake news. How about this video? These are classics.
It's a disgrace what took place. It's a disgrace. And I think they ought to apologize to start with, Michael Cohen.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question?
Here's crybaby Jim Acosta.
Go ahead.
President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give us a
is
chance
terrible.
to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet.
you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us
not
a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not
Go ahead.
appropriate.
That's not appropriate. That's not appropriate.
Should I let
Jim
him have a
Acosta.
little bit more? What do you think, Peter? Peter, should I let him have a little bit?
There he's back. Jim Acosta's back.
Just because of the
We'll get it.
just because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine?
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you?
He laughs at himself. He knows he's a joke.
Real news, Mr. President. Real news.
Real news, huh? Real news, Jim Acosta. Is that true? Real news? Let's fact check that. Of course, there were 3 CNN employees that just had to resign over a retracted Trump-Russia tie story where they tried to demonize Anthony Scaramucci as well as Donald Trump and create false Trump-Russia ties. They had to retract that story, and 3 CNN employees lost their job. But that pales in comparison to the video released by James O'Keefe where they have inside footage of CNN admitting their fake news, CNN admitting that they made up the whole Russian Trump thing narrative. It's all made up. It's all fake. All we do it for ratings. All we do it is for money. We're fake news. We don't care. So there you go, Jim Acosta. You said real news. You said Trump was inappropriate. You end up being fake news. You end up being inappropriate. I wonder if Jim Acosta will have anything to say about that. And I'd like to see CNN get the ban from the White House press corps. They complain all the time. Oh, my gosh, they're putting us in the back row. Oh, how dare him. Well, how about he just kicks you out altogether because you're totally fake news? So there's the art of the presidency showing you how Donald Trump is playing 6D chess and winning with it. It's really actually incredible. Now, here's the victories. I want to go down all the victories that Donald Trump is having because this is key for the United States of America and making America great again. Trump executive order pulls out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal. That is a victory in spades. Trump did it almost immediately. That is going to help the fair trade return to this country. Donald Trump pulls out of the Paris Accord in crushing blow to climate fight. Climate fight, because Huffington Post wants to fight the climate, folks. So again, though, Trump pulls us out of the Paris Accord. Huge deal, saves us money. Border apprehensions up 33% over last year. So he's getting a strong border. He's following law. He's allowing border enforcement to do their job. MS-13 arrests. Dozens of suspected gang members captured in Los Angeles raid. That's just one story. Hundreds of MS-13 gang members have been arrested since Trump took office. Obama let them into this country knowingly. Trump got a clear victory for national security with his travel ban, and the Supreme Court upholds him 9-0. He also added Neil Gorsuch to that Supreme Court. That's great. How about all of the pedogate arrests? Here's one. 2 arrested, 3 teenage girls. You got another one. Hundreds of arrests, 28 kids. How about the return of the coal industry? Coal mining begins seeing a revival. The EPA cuts. Trump hardest budget cuts to the EPA ever. Stock market closes at record as Tex leads Gage. You've had so many stock records, you can't even keep track of them all. He fired James Comey. He fired the FBI director. $50 billion coming in from Japan. Trump keeps winning.
We've taken thousands of years of known research and put it together with our own 4 years of seeking and testing to find the very best systems that God gave us through Mother Nature to detoxify the body. That's why I'm introducing Z-Shield, toxic metal and chemical defense support. It's made in the USA. It's filled with known compounds from nature that are absolutely associated with detoxifying the body, and it supports the InfoWar. It is a classical 360 win. Our formula at InfoWarsLife.com is, quite frankly, simple. We go out and look at the recognized research, and we take it to the next level of quality, of purity, and of strength. Because this is what I personally use for myself and my family. We've gone through 5 or 6 different permutations in the last 4 years since we launched Infowars Life to actually come up with this. This is the formula that I personally have been taking for over a year, and now we believe we have come as close to perfection when it comes to a detoxifier as you can possibly get. If you're not mitigating the pesticides, the heavy metals, the chemicals, if you're not trying to purify your water, if you're not trying to take products like Z-Shield that are full of known concentrated compounds that help purify our cells and our bodies, you're crazy. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, and you owe it to the future of this country and the world that patriots stay as healthy and as clean and as focused as you can be, because we need you, the remnant of America, to reignite those brush fires to the next level and to be healthy and as focused as you can be. Because if you're sick, if you're over there on the sidelines and not in the fight, you're basically giving in to the New World Order. Thanks to your support and your prayers, together, we're changing the world. Now it's time to change our bodies with Z-Shield at InfoWarsLife.com.
I want to tell you about some of the products at InfoWarsStore.com. We are under constant attack. You know it by now from the mainstream media. They're trying to attack us on every level. Now with the YouTube scandal, they're demonetizing our channels, which again takes a huge chunk out of our income, which is why we always appreciate and rely on you getting the products, because that's how we stay afloat. They can't get to us that way. They can't pressure you to not buy the products. They don't have that power. And that's why you're the key to this entire operation. We have Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste, bubblegum flavor, just arrived at InfoWarsStore.com. This is by listener request. Bubblegum flavored Super Blue toothpaste now available at InfoWarsStore.com in limited supply. Again, if you're not using fluoride-free toothpaste by now, you're absolutely insane. Harvard studies, it reduces IQ, it causes bone cancer. It's not great, let's just put it that way. And I've been using it for about, what, 15 years now? So you're going to buy it anyway, why not buy it from us? It's in limited supply, but it is available at InfoWarsStore.com with the new bubblegum flavor. Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste, and it supports this network, which is under constant demonization and attack, because we don't take big fat checks from George Soros. We don't get put on extremist lists, even though they want us to. That's how they're taking away the YouTube money. That's why we need your support more than ever, because we're not funded by giant corporations who are now pulling the plug on YouTube as they move it into a TV thing, a Netflix model, to drown out independent voices. So support us by getting the products at InfoWarsStore.com.
Everyone was wondering what CNN was going to be like today after the devastating blow delivered to them by Project Veritas last evening. And, well, CNN didn't stop, did they? They kept putting out fake news. They kept putting out propaganda. They kept pretending that anybody is still believing anything they have to say. I want to cover this story. Trump Care would send her to Mexico for birth control. Oh, just a lovely CNN fake news story. And the implications that this lady makes in this interview are quite astounding. And the fact that CNN would not even question her as to why she would feel she has to go to Mexico to get birth control and health care as opposed to the United States. Why? And then they don't even mention to her that what she's implying that she might do is illegal, implying that she's going to bring back birth control drugs from Mexico if Trump Care passes. So first of all, the very notion that this lady gives CNN that if Trump Care passes, she's going to start going to Mexico for birth control drugs and for whatever womanly health care that she needs. First of all, that's ludicrous, and it's illegal to bring it back. CNN doesn't mention anything about that. But then it goes on, and it talks about how she originally had a kid at a young age. I forget how, 15, when she had her first child. And it was thanks for Planned Parenthood for being there. And it talks about how she went to Planned Parenthood and the doctor told her to have an abortion. How disgusting and despicable is that? And so they're sitting here complaining in this interview, and CNN is giving this woman a platform and amplifying it, saying that she will no longer be able to get her birth control because Trump Care is going to defund Planned Parenthood. So you made an irresponsible decision at the age of 15 to have unprotected sex and had a child, and then you had to rely on Planned Parenthood because I don't know why that became the scenario for you. I can think of dozens of scenarios, but regardless, now you're relying on Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood suggested that you abort and kill your own child, and now here you are standing up for Planned Parenthood, all because you have been conditioned so much to hate Donald Trump. And keep in mind, this is all hypothetical because the bill hasn't even passed, and it's not going to. So it's all hypothetical. It's all an attack. It's all an attack on Trump. Any angle they can get, anybody they can find. How can we levy that against Donald Trump? And it's amazing that CNN thinks that people would read this story about this girl who gets pregnant at 15, relies on Planned Parenthood up to the age of 23, and is now saying she'll have to go to Mexico to get health care and her birth control pills if Trump Care passes. And CNN thinks that people are going to read that and go, oh my gosh, Trump is such a bad guy. No, they're going to say, wait a second, we don't want to fund Planned Parenthood. They told you to kill your child. That's what they're going to say, but CNN doesn't get that. And then Brian Stelter comes out. Brian Stelter. They all talk like this. They all like talk like Jake Tapper, Brian Stelter, Jim Acosta. I don't know what it is with these little, at the Cuck News Network.
CNN stands by our medical producer, John Bonifield. Diversity of personal opinion is what makes CNN strong. We welcome it and embrace it.
Thank you, Brian Stelter. Yes, that's what it was, a diversity of opinion. It was a diversity of opinion when your own producer said that it's nothing but a bunch of bullcrap what you're saying about Russia. This is a perfect story. So this is, again, CNN thinks that the story on Trump Care is going to turn you off Trump. CNN thinks that you're going to hear that story and just be like, oh yeah, that's a producer who just has a different opinion than the rest of CNN. And they really think that you're going to buy that. But see, the whole story that CNN doesn't get is that nobody buys it anyway. The producer that is telling you in the video that CNN and the Russian narrative is BS, that's how America feels. That's what CNN doesn't get. They think that that's a diversity of opinion, like that's some different opinion that some guy has that the Russian narrative is BS. That's what everybody thinks. That's America's opinion. The only place where that opinion doesn't exist is the vacuum of fake news that CNN has created. So it's just unbelievable. And then again, I go back to the story that we covered last segment. The Washington Post prints this story. It's like 30 pages long. Obama's secret struggle to punish Russia for Putin's election assault. So Obama chooses to not do anything or say anything about it. The Washington Post prints this story, and now they've pigeonholed Obama. Because think about it. What can Obama do now? Obama can do nothing right in this situation now, because now you have the Washington Post, who clearly tried to make this some sort of gratification of the Trump-Russia story, and it ended up being the exact opposite. So now what is Obama going to do? If he comes out and admits he buried this because he didn't want to influence the election, well, now he needs to be put on stand to testify why he didn't do it and what he knows, right? Just like everybody else. Or wait a second, maybe he didn't do anything about it because there was nothing there. Or maybe he didn't do anything about it because it was the Clintons and the Podestas that were colluding with Russia. So where can Obama go? He has no path to victory now, thanks to the Washington Post. So I guess the Washington Post has hurt their own cause in this deal. Speaking of hurting your own cause, Fed's looking into Bernie Sanders and wife over real estate deal. So Bernie Sanders is now being investigated for bank fraud. They're looking into his finances behind real estate deals, the defunct college that Bernie Sanders' wife was running. Folks, they're looking at some serious time here. And Bernie Sanders is now blaming, I heard this, that Bernie Sanders is now blaming Trump for this happening. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll take it if Trump is going to be, again, showing the real fraud to millionaires and billionaires, as Bernie Sanders is a billionaire, bank fraud. So that's nice. It'll be nice to see justice come down on the Sanders family. And that'll be a nice wake-up call for the left, too, and all the people that fall for the socialists. Here's an interesting wake-up call. California to list herbicide as cancer-causing, Monsanto vows fight. They're talking specifically about the glyphosates in Roundup that have known to cause cancer. There's multiple lawsuits going right now where people that use Roundup got cancer that are suing Monsanto. And, of course, you had the guy come out and say, there's nothing wrong with glyphosate. And he had the cup of glyphosate like, look, it's just fine. La, 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 nothing to see here. It's a nice cup of glyphosate. And then the people are like, hey, you drink that glyphosate. And he's like, ha, what do you think, I'm crazy? And they're like, well, if it's safe, why not drink it? It's like, obviously, it's not safe. It's going to cause cancer. So now California is pushing to get it listed as a cancer-causing ingredient, and Monsanto is fighting this tooth and nail. You know why? Because Monsanto doesn't want you to know that their products cause cancer. Because you're not going to buy their products anymore, are you? And then when you look into how much power Monsanto has over our agriculture, over the dairy industry, over all of that, over the FDA, well, there's going to be some serious red flags raising in your head, and that's why this... And you got to hand it to California trying to list the herbicide as cancer-causing, the glyphosates that clearly are cancer-causing. Of course, Monsanto wants to bury that. They want to bury the truth. They think they're more important than you. They think their profit is more important than you. Just like Google, who's now been fined in the European Union for an antitrust ruling. Google basically manipulating the marketplace, censoring the marketplace, record fine being imposed on Google, $2.7 billion for rigging the marketplace. You know, I wanted to celebrate another victory for our side. Mark Levin, whose book is Condemning Media, Mainstream Media, and Progressives, has just debuted at #1 on Amazon. So every time one of these conservatives puts out a book, it goes to #1 on Amazon, #1 on the New York Times, and there's hardly any coverage of it all. The same thing for Michael Savage. So, again, this is just another sign that we are victorious. How about this health care bill? Okay, so this is a dead bill walking. It was going to die the next time they voted on it. Mitch McConnell, who is just, he is just such an embarrassment. He's delayed the vote again now till after the July 4th recess. So just delaying the inevitable of this bill failing. And it's just not going to be good. Now, Rand Paul met with President Trump today. He said it was a great meeting. He says he really believes Trump understands the issues and wants to work with him. But it's all about repeal. Let's repeal. Why can't we repeal? Obamacare didn't exist before Obamacare, but we still had health care. Let's repeal the bill. It's that simple. We're going to be joined by Terrence Williams on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Electrify your day with Secret 12. It's like lightning in a bottle. We all have days in which we just can't seem to perform at the level we'd like to. Infowars Life Secret 12 is designed to naturally energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper amount of vitamins we need each day with our modern diets. Secret 12 by Infowars Life is an easy way to naturally upgrade your vitamin B12 intake and support your body's natural systems. It pairs 2 forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body. Electrify your mind and body and take your health to the next level. Experience the power of Secret 12 at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to secure your canister. We have worked for years with our chemists and scientists to create the most powerful and affordable, great-tasting multivitamin formula available. Vitamin Mineral Fusion Drink Mix at InfoWarsLife.com is loaded with a full month's supply of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that your body absolutely needs. In the history of InfoWars Life, we've brought out a lot of amazing products like Survival Shield X2, Super Male Vitality, and so many others. With its unique delivery system and proprietary manufacturing process designed for maximized effects, this formula is the platinum standard of multivitamin mineral products. And this part is most important. The ingredients in Vitamin Mineral Fusion are either plant-derived or of the highest quality lab standard. That means it's clean. That means it's pure. And rest assured, you're fighting the tip of the spear in the info war. That's InfoWarsLife.com and Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Take action now before we sell out. We have the new product at InfoWarsLife.com, BioTrue Selenium.
We've had so many requests over the years for selenium, and just recently, we were able to source a certified organic, bioavailable selenium from mustard seed extract. When you take selenium in the body, it actually benefits the detoxification systems in your body. It helps balance the thyroid gland. It helps detoxify.
Selenium is another one of those absolute must-haves.
The highest concentration of selenium is in the thyroid gland, but it's actually used all over the body. As a matter of fact, there's 25 genes in the body that are directly dependent upon selenium. So it really is a all-around nutrient that everybody really needs.
I'm taking it now every day. This is so key. BioTrue Selenium is the product, the best selenium that we could bring you. We believe it's the best out there at a very, very low price. Exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. We're selling a product, DNA Force, that is the very best nutraceutical that we can produce. Dr. Group, you took years for you to develop DNA Force for us.
It's been something that I've been working on for a long time, Alex, because I think it's very, very important. What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
We chose the PQQ because it has over 175 different clinical trials. It's one of the most effective substances in the world. It works like an antioxidant. It works to repair nerve growth factor.
So this is a formula to deliver the maximum amount. It's in powder form.
We have so many 5-star reviews. I take this. This is the product that I take.
InfoWarsLife.com, and the profit we make. We fight the globalists. We fight the New World Order. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Hi, this is Jake Tapper. Welcome back to the We Hate Donald Trump News Network. We hate Donald Trump, well, because he beat Hillary Clinton and made us look like fools. That's why we hate Donald. Sorry, Jake, you got to go, Jake. It's time for you to go. It's time for the real news to take over here. All right, I am now joined by Terrence Williams. I'm trying to be as funny as he is, as he has. Actually, Terrence, you landed on my map when you did a video. This was right when Black Lives Matter was kind of having a resurgence just over a year ago. And you did a video, and I believe you're eating fried chicken, and you're talking about how much you like fried chicken and how happy you are that you live in America where you can get fried chicken at a whim. That was the entire video, and it was one of the funniest videos. You got thousands and thousands of retweets. It totally went viral. Was that the first thing that you did that kind of made you so popular? Was that what landed you on most people's maps, or were you already out there being funny?
Actually, that was my first video. I just started posting videos about 11 months ago. And I put Black Lives Matter to bed with it. So, you know, I got on Facebook and I was getting so frustrated. People was talking about, ooh, I want to move to Africa. I want to move back to Africa. America, we oppressed. I'm like, this is the best country in the world. Y'all done lost y'all mind. Africa don't want y'all, you know? And half the people that wanted to move to Africa, they was on government assistance. So I don't know why you want to move to Africa. You ain't getting no food stamps over there. So they were pretty mad about that video. And I was eating my chicken, you know, while I was talking because I was on my lunch.
That was one of the best videos. You had me rolling. But it's great because not only do you combine your comedy and your character with it, you actually point out common sense facts. Like, for example, half of these people, or these people that are saying how bad the country is, literally live off the government. And it's just like, wait a second, you don't even understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't understand what they were saying. And also a lot of people, they were blaming white people for their life, what's going on in their life. And I'm like, you know what? This is not the 1800s anymore. Anything you do, everything you do is on you. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. You know, people was blaming. They were talking about, well, I blame the white man because I got 9 kids. That's not the white man's fault. He didn't push Tyrone inside you. So I don't know why you mad. You open up your own leg. But you mad at America because you opened up your legs knowing you was broke, knowing you couldn't afford no kids. So you should have kept your legs closed, and America will be great.
You know, it's funny. I just covered a story before that was talking about a girl that got pregnant at the age of 15, and she basically was reliant on Planned Parenthood for almost 10 years, and now she's freaked out because Donald Trump's going to defund Planned Parenthood. It's like she doesn't know what to do, and she's like, oh, I'm going to have to go to Mexico. It's like,
fix my camera a little bit.
Yeah, just sit up on your camera. You'll be just fine there. Just lower it a little bit to get your head centered. But you talked about the hate that you got a second ago when you did that video. And the last time we talked, you were telling me, and I've actually seen these comments on Twitter. I've seen some of these comments. People insulting you, calling you a race hater. People are all even calling you a white supremacist.
Say what?
I've seen people call you a white supremacist. It's true.
That's the fun. Yeah, people calling me a white supremacist. And you know what? You know what makes me so confused? Why I'm so confused? I'm blacker than Obama. And the people that's calling me a white supremacist, they swore up and down Obama was black, but he was scared to show his birth certificate.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. Again, folks, you can check out his videos. He's got a YouTube channel. Follow him on Twitter at Terrence Williams. But honestly, what is it like for you? Did you expect to have these people threatening your life? I mean, you've had people threatening your life. You've had people threatening your livelihood. You've had people making things up about you. And you've done nothing to anyone. You just put out funny videos that make perfect sense.
Well, people, they hate the truth hurt. So I heard a lot of feelings. That's why people send threats. You know, they say, well, people telling me, well, Terrence, Black Lives Matter. Well, why y'all want to kill me? Because I'm speaking against y'all's movement that is straight up racist, and y'all want to kill me. So now y'all hypocrites. So how do Black Lives Matter if y'all want to kill me because I don't think the way y'all think?
That's actually true.
I'm getting a lot of threats because they're like little kids. They can't handle when you think different than them. They hate when you don't agree with them. So they send threats and they want you off the map.
That's right. Black Lives Matter until you're either an unborn child or you disagree with them and you're black. Then all of a sudden they don't seem to care about your life. You've made it on Sean Hannity. You've got a lot of attention on Twitter. I'm just curious, before you did that video that went viral, were you ever involved in politics? Did you care about Trump? Did you care about Bernie Sanders? Did you care about Clinton? I mean, where were you on the political map before this?
Before that, I really wasn't speaking on the internet. But when the election came around, Donald Trump started running, I was with him from day one. And so I had to show my support. And showing my support, people said, Terrence, you know what, you just don't come back to the black community because Donald Trump is a racist. Well, how's he a racist? I don't know. The media said he was. So
now, is this in your personal life too? Are you talking about friends and family saying this to you as well?
Oh, family. I had family members tell me, don't you come to the family reunion? Well, I'm like, well, I'm coming anyway because half of y'all owe me money from last family. So I'll be there with security.
Oh my gosh, man, you are too funny. You know, and the solar wall videos are hilarious when you talk about the solar wall and you do your laugh on this. I know you get fired up about the solar wall.
Oh, my brother. See, y'all, people don't know, you know. Donald Trump is like my big brother. So I call him Don Don. That's my big bro, Don Don. And, you know, Donald Trump, He killed the liberals with that. Oh, he killed the liberals.
No, it's so true. This is what I said. I said liberals would put they would put a solar panel up a camel's butt if they thought it could save energy, but they will not put one at the border.
Oh no, they don't want it at the border. Oh, now liberals are against solar panels. They think solar panels messed up the planet now.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Wait a second, Terrence. Wait a second. I'm just getting this from Putin now. Yep, solar panels are racist. Solar panels are racist. So there it is, right then and there.
Solar panels are racist now. But Trump, he killed them when he came up with that. And Trump knew what he was doing. Trump did that, because he came up with that because he's smart. And he also did it so he could see the look on people's face that hate him.
He really did troll him, a 360 troll with that. Now, I've seen it. You can see it, folks. You can see it on Twitter. It's nasty, but if you want to, you can look at some of the responses he gets from his videos, some of the stuff that people tweets at him, some of the comments in his videos. But we know the negative side. I want to talk about the other side. What about, have there been friends and family or other people that have looked at you and said, wow, thank you for speaking out. Wow, thank you for saying that. Wow, you changed my mind. Have you seen the good side of this?
I have a few siblings that I had a sibling call me whitewashed and coon, but I know we're not on the negative part. But I've had siblings that say, you know what, Terrence, you do your thing. I don't agree with you, but you do your thing. And a lot of the people, like family members and friends that's positive about it, I think they're looking for a check at the end of it. They think I might break them off a couple dollars, when I get me.
Oh, I see. If they cozy up to you.
But there have been people on social media that say, Terrence, I have changed my mind. The way you put it, I understand. So thank you very much.
Well, that's the beauty. I mean, that's the beauty of what you do. I feel like, do you even script anything you do, or are you just completely raw from the heart?
Oh, I just go on. I don't script nothing. And
yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, I just go on. So that's why, sometimes I go back and listen and be like, oh, I said that? Oh, so that's, okay, yeah. So sometimes I need to be writing stuff down, but it's better when you just, go right when it's coming straight from the heart, straight from the mind.
Well, hey, man, hey, keep doing what you're doing and follow him on Twitter, folks. Terrence Williams at @W_Terrence. You're putting out great stuff, man. Honestly, your content is creative, it's original, it's catchy, it's funny, it's true. I love what you're doing, man. Keep it up. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Terrence Williams, folks. Check out his videos on Twitter. Have yourself a good laugh.
Alex Jones here with a very important news update to anybody out there that wants to be prepared. But it goes beyond being prepared. Our bodies absolutely must have the good halogen iodine or we will die. And you look at all of the thyroid problems and all the people that don't have energy and that have all sorts of hormone problems. And from my research and a lot of just mainline research, it leads back to iodine over and over and over again. It's as important as vitamin C. If you don't get iodine, you die. But most people are just deficient, so they're low energy, they're sick. You got to have iodine in your body so that your body can produce the hormones you need. It is the base to so many things. And since I got into iodine 4 years ago, we've helped change the entire paradigm by developing and bringing to the public deep earth crystals from 7,000 to 12,000 feet of the purest iodine available. Other iodine comes from the ocean or from other byproducts of chemical facilities, and it's tainted. It's bound. It's not absorbable. I tried it. And I had incredible effects even with dirty iodine because the body needs it. When you don't have iodine, it absorbs the chlorine, the fluoride, and all these other bad halogens. Do yourself and your family a favor and check out the importance of iodine for yourself. I think you're going to be blown away. And whatever you do, support the broadcast and get a bottle of Survival Shield Nation Iodine X2. Also consult your physician because if you've been deficient in it or have other issues, it can have some dramatic effects. As for me and most folks I talk to, it's been a game changer in the positive column, but still consult your physician because iodine is no joke. It's a key building block of the body. And if you haven't had it for a long time and suddenly have it, some folks say they've experienced things like a detoxing effect and things like that. You've got to have vitamin C. You've got to have iodine to live. You've got to have water to live. Iodine is key. You must have it, but consult your physician first before you get powerful Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 at InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll-free. We can answer your questions, 888-253-3139.
Yeah, but hang on. Okay, they're shooting. Hang on. Okay, sit down. Okay, we're here. Go ahead and shoot me. Damn. Trying to. Go ahead, shoot me. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Shoot me. You have to shoot me. Are they shooting him? Did they shoot him? You asshole. Oh my God! Okay. Stay down. I can't get out. Is he dead? Don't get out. I am EMT! Stop it. Are you hit? No, I'm EMT! Oh, hold on. Don't do anything. No shooting. Don't do anything. The door's shut. Where the hell is Lavoy? Jim. I can't see. Shut up. We're hunkered down in here, trying not to be shot. Shooting more gas rounds. The gas is getting pretty thick in here.
Thank you so much for continuing your husband's fight. What would you say to people out there who don't really know or understand that it could happen to them?
What would I say? I would say start standing up, start speaking out, get involved, get educated. Don't be intimidated by what is out there. Be brave. One of the last things that my husband said to me was, Jeanette, take courage, have faith, God is in charge, and to move forward. And I just keep remembering that because my faith is in God, and I know that He will sustain each one of us as we're doing His work, and His work is the work of liberty. It is.
Well, that's an amazing message to send people out there. And as far as our property rights, what would you say to people regarding our property rights?
Well, they're in peril. We need to work fast, long, and hard. There are so many forces working against us. This 2 days of teaching here at the Red Pill Expo explained many more different ways that they're coming at us. And we just have to be I won't even say that word.
Vigilant.
I can't talk. Thank you so much. We just have to keep pressing forward. And education, I believe, is key. Look for the other resources of news. Don't be the one that is sitting watching CNN or even Fox anymore. You have to look outside the box and start educating yourself with alternative media, like Infowars.
Well, you know, it was pretty shocking to hear that the federal government and the government itself is still coming after you and your family, and that they're trying to make a lesson out of you guys. Can you tell some of our Infowars listeners what they're still doing to you?
Well, what they're still doing to me is ignoring me, and in hopes that they'll run me out of time, money, and resource. They don't respond to any communication from my attorneys, either by mail or phone. They're not responding in any way. We're going to have to come up with a different game plan and maybe set precedent and find a new way to combat this.
So, how did you find out about the tragedy that happened with your husband?
Oh. I had just left Oregon. My daughter was a senior in high school. I needed to be home because she was playing her basketball games, and it was senior recognition. So Lavoy had written a letter for her because he knew he wouldn't make it in time for her game. And we were sitting in the auditorium with my son and my daughters and my husband's parents and my brother, family. It's a small town, so everybody was there. And somebody came in and said there had been a shooting at Malheur. And so I was scrambling to call Lavoy, and my phone was dying, and so I had to run to the hallway and plug my phone into the wall. And I remember just sitting there redialing over and over and over again with no response. And Lisa Bundy got a hold of me, and she just was hysterical, screaming that they shot and killed the boy, they shot and killed the boy, into the phone. And I don't really know all that happened afterwards. I just know that our whole family just held together and went over to the local police station where we tried to get more information, which we didn't. The people didn't want to release any more information, but that was a very tragic time. You know, my daughter is playing her game, and his parents and my brother-in-laws, and it was just horrific to find out that way.
It sounds absolutely, I'm so sorry, I'm like tearing up right now. It's such an inspiration that you're keeping on and fighting against these people who did this to your family. And your husband was a brave man to stand up for what he believed in and to try and fight for his family, his property rights, and for others out there. And I just hope that this story will motivate people, more people to stand up, because I feel like these type of things are happening because not enough people are standing up, and they think that they can get away with it, and they become emboldened in that. So thank you so much for sharing your story and having the strength to do that today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for telling my story. And I want to say to the American people, please stand up for what you know is your right. Stand up for liberty. Stand up for freedom. And let's help reinstate the Constitution as the supreme law of the land. But let's do it responsibly and peacefully. I don't know how much more to express that. I know that my husband was doing so as well. He may have been exercising his right to carry. He had a legal permit. That didn't mean he was going to go out a-blazing. So please be responsible in standing for freedom as we should be.
Let me tell you something else, breaking news. Because when I was on with Alex Jones some months ago, he very kindly has me on about once a month. And here I am again, turning up like a bad penny. I was talking about this episode, the Finicum murder, and I said it was very clear to me that Mr. Comey and Mr. Obama's policy of treating Christians and people who quote the Bible and people who quote the Constitution, people even who quote decisions of the Supreme Court, are to be regarded and reported as though they were terrorists or potential terrorists. That policy, which led to the death of Lavoy Finicum very directly, a policy which has not yet been reversed, though I'm going to see to it that it is reversed, I transmitted a short report of this to the administration's transition team. And I said, you need to watch for this one, because it's going to come back and bite government generally in the backside unless you are aware of it. And I said to them privately what I then said, and you can go back and check this, I said this publicly on the air, it would be necessary, for the sake of Mr. Trump distancing himself from what had been done, that he should fire Mr. Comey, both privately to the administration's transition team and then publicly on Alex Jones. Weeks later, he was gone. So don't you think, you who committed this crime, that because I am from across the pond, I don't have sufficient influence to make a difference to what is going to happen to you now. From this day on, when this broadcast is drawn to your attention, you will never again sleep easy in your beds, and very soon you will not be sleeping in beds, you will be sleeping in cots by a tin toilet in a small cell shared with somebody that you might not normally wish to know on your social circuit. So be very clear on this. Mr. Comey has already gone. I called for it. I briefed the administration. He went. I'm not saying, of course, that I was the sole reason for that, but I've no doubt that my little fourpence worth was added into the balance along with other evidences of his wrongdoing. But we are going to continue to press forward with this matter, and so the Bureau of Land Management, and let me tell you this, your very existence is under threat as a result of your mistreatment of Mrs. Finicum. My advice to you is this, that if within 2 weeks of this broadcast you have failed to make sure that she is told that she is entitled to continue the land lease that was originally in favor of her late husband, then the Bureau of Land Management will from then on be at very grave risk indeed of being abolished and of all its senior management debarred from ever holding any public office again.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infowars Nightly News. Support us at InfoWarsStore.com. You stay classy, Info Warriors.
I am very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality Infowars Biome Defense Probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics that have been proven to improve overall digestion and health and detoxification in the body. Biome Defense is an exclusive blend of 50 billion live and active cultures from over 23 different probiotic strains that are known to support digestion and intestinal function. Our researchers are confident that we have been able to develop what will be the leading probiotic on the market. Secure your Biome Defense in ultra strength or regular strength at InfoWarsLife.com today and get started supporting your digestive system naturally. We've been testing this formula for years, but this is the limited first run to the public, so please take advantage of it today. Support your own health and support the InfoWar.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It's Tuesday, June 27th, 2017. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer. Here's what's on the news tonight.
Tonight, the Fake News Network.